Have you ever observed how certain individuals truly wake up the second they begin decluttering? The click of a cabinet, the scent of fresh detergent, the quiet joy of watching a chaotic corner slowly bloom into order. It feels like meditation. While many view it as mere housework, for them it is something far more profound. It is stillness. It is focus. It is the raw sensation of reclaiming the throne of their own small world, one sorted shelf at a time. Perhaps that's you. You feel an unusual surge of quiet comfort when every object finds its home. You don't simply organize to be neat. You declutter because your soul has been holding its breath, and every cleared surface is like finally breaking the frozen crust of a lake for a deep, life-giving lungful of oxygen. In this video, we're diving into that. Why are some folks obsessed with the arrangement of their house? What actually happens in the psyche and the spirit when a person feels bliss just by observing a neat space? And why does it feel so restorative? You know, when the world outside won't stop screaming, sometimes a straight line of books is the only thing that whispers back. It's a strange kind of magic, isn't it? But then again, perhaps it's the only thing that makes sense. Let's start with a misunderstood truth. Loving to organize isn't about being neat. It's about control in a world that feels uncontrollable. Our environment reflects our inner state. When life feels messy, uncertain, heavy, cleaning becomes a way to build order. When we can't fix what's happening inside, the mind speaks through the hands. It says, if I can make this small corner peaceful, maybe everything else will be okay too. It's like building a sturdy stone lighthouse on a tiny island. The ocean is screaming. The hurricane is coming. But if that one light stays on, the storm hasn't won. That's why we do it. After an argument, during a stressful week, we suddenly start reorganizing closets or moving furniture. It isn't random. It is emotional regulation. It is action. In psychology, this is external grounding. When emotions are overwhelming, you need something tangible. Folding clothes, vacuuming, arranging books. These acts give the brain a sense of completion. They trigger the reward system, releasing dopamine, that chemical thank you from your brain. Your mind treats every folded shirt like a perfectly solved riddle, clicking a heavy iron gear back into place until the machine of your thoughts finally runs silent and smooth. But for many, it's not just about feeling good. It's about feeling safe. A tidy home sends signals of stability to the subconscious. Clutter, on the other hand, triggers anxiety. It represents unfinished business. Every item out of place doesn't just sit there, it whispers. You still have things to handle. You aren't done yet. For those who feel deeply, these items are like open browser tabs in the mind. They drain your battery. They fill the room with the static of not yet. So, we organize, not to impress guests, but to quiet that internal noise. Organizing is predictable. You know the start, you know the end. There is a clear cause and an immediate effect. That certainty is rare. In real life, outcomes are messy. People are unpredictable. So when someone says, cleaning makes me happy, what they really mean is, this is one of the few things in life that actually makes sense. But let's be real. Not everyone is trying to control chaos. For some, it's self-expression. Their home is their mirror. The way they display plants or fold towels isn't about tidiness. It's about beauty. It's art through space. This is environmental self-identity. Our surroundings tell the world and us who we are. When someone makes their space beautiful, it isn't vanity, it's communication. It's a way of saying, this is what peace looks like for me. For others, cleaning is mindfulness. It slows the thoughts. They get lost in the rhythm, the swish of the broom, the flow of water, the pattern of sorting. In those quiet moments, they aren't worried about yesterday. They aren't scared of tomorrow. They just are. It is active meditation. No need to sit still, no need to close your eyes. Just movement. There is also a link here between control and creativity. People who love organizing often have vivid, crowded inner worlds. When that creative energy builds up without an outlet, it feels restless. Tidying acts as a solid stone dam for a flooding river, channeling that wild, rushing torrent into a steady stream that can finally turn the heavy wheels of your next big idea. It is creativity wearing the mask of discipline. This is why, after cleaning, we often feel inspired to write or cook or build. A clear space gives the mind permission to dream. Because clutter doesn't just fill rooms, it fills the soul. It's important to remember, if you don't like organizing, you aren't lazy. And if you do, you aren't necessarily a perfectionist. There is no right or wrong, only different ways of finding home. For some, mess is fine. Their minds thrive in creative chaos. For others, a small pile of papers feels like a heavy, suffocating cloud. Both are valid. Both are human. There is often a history here. Those who grew up in unpredictable homes, where boundaries were thin or emotions were unstable, often find comfort in physical order. A perfectly ordered room is the first anchor they've ever truly owned. A patch of solid ground that won't shift or crumble, regardless of how the emotional weather turns outside. It is a silent promise. Here I am safe. Here I decide what happens. But if cleaning was tied to pressure or punishment, then tidying feels like stress. It's not a habit, it's an emotional association. The past quietly shapes our relationship with our shelves. Think about the neuroscience. When you finish a task, the reward center lights up. A tidy room literally lowers cortisol, the stress hormone. I feel lighter. We say it all the time, but it's not just a feeling, it's biology. Your mind reads order as safety. The body relaxes. Breathing slows. You feel capable again. Some use organizing as a language. They don't say, I'm sad or I'm overwhelmed. Instead, they just start scrubbing. They release emotion through the sponge. They realign their energy by rearranging the furniture. It is somatic regulation, movement instead of speech. It feels good to wipe a counter until it shines. It's not just dirt being removed. It is knots of tension being slowly unraveled. Let's go deeper. A tidy space tells your brain, I am okay. A messy one whispers, I am lost. Even if you don't realize it, your brain is reading your room like an emotional script. When you clean, you change the story. And then there is the symbolic side, letting go. Every item you discard is a small emotional release, a decision to move. Decluttering is emotional work. You aren't just getting rid of stuff. You are rewriting your history.
You are a patient gardener, pruning away the dead, gray branches of who you used to be, making sure the sunlight can finally reach the parts of you that are still trying to grow. That is healing. It just happens to look like housekeeping. Organizing isn't about objects.
It's about emotions. It's the act of saying, this matters, this stays, this goes. It is how we make decisions about life itself. Every drawer you tidy is a reflection of how you want to feel. Peaceful, clear, intentional. Your home is an ecosystem. It holds your moods and your memories. When you clean, you reset the atmosphere. You remind yourself, this space is mine. This peace is mine. It isn't about perfection. It's about belonging. It's about coming home, not just to a house, but to yourself. So, the next time you find yourself folding laundry with a smile, don't brush it off. It is an act of self-care. It is your way of saying, I deserve beauty. I deserve calm. Peace is not found, it is created. Sometimes with a broom in your hand and soft music in the background. I wonder, do you feel it too? That moment when the last thing clicks into place and you can finally breathe. Honestly, I think that's where the real work begins. But you tell me, are you like this? Do you find your peace in the rhythm of the clean? Share your stories in the comments. I'd love to hear how you feel when your space finally feels right again. Remember, there's no perfect way to live. Whether your peace is a minimalist studio or a cozy, cluttered nest of memories, what matters is how it holds you. Because in the end, organizing isn't about making a house look good for others. It's about turning a building into a sanctuary. A place where your soul can finally set down its heavy luggage, kick off its shoes, and rest in the quiet beauty of a world that, for a moment, makes perfect sense. One folded corner, one quiet room, one calm breath at a time.